everybody. This is Cynthia with F.F.T helping others and the domestic violence rally of 2019. So how are you guys today? This is a good day. It's pretty outside. I don't know where you guys are from, but guess what? I'm here in Virginia. It is cold outside, but I'm sure wherever you guys are from, whatever state, if you guys want to tell me what state you're from, that's wonderful. So it's a good afternoon, right? So what is validation? What's affirmation, right? So I want to give you guys what the root word is. So validation means to be valid, to, hi Holly, how you doing? To be substantiated, to be confirmed, to, hi Patrice, how you doing? To feel, to feel like you're approved, right? To have a sense of validation, right? They also have words that relate to it, like corroboration, acceptance, affirmation, recognition, proof, verification, consent, evidence, testimonial. Those are the words that relate to feel support, to have warranted. Authentication. Those are the words that relate to validation, right? Sometimes we feel like we are not valid, like we don't have validation. Sometimes when we are around other people or when we are around friendships that don't make us feel valid, or when we're in groups, sometimes we can feel like, man, I don't feel very valid today, right? Or when we're in relationships, sometimes that also can make us feel like I don't feel very valid, right? So according to Psychology of Guild, most children or individuals can be taught from a young age to seek approval from their parents for the things that they say or did, since the need for approval, like love and acceptance from our parents, is very strong, right? We become conditioned over time to seek approval from others as well. Whenever we don't receive approval from someone who is not our parent, there is an automatic trigger and desire to win it back. When we aren't met with an approval, we no longer feel safe and protected. When we see ridicule or rejection, it can undermine our view of ourselves. And that statement is something that can trigger us, especially when we're around relationships, because it's just like, wait a minute, I don't feel approved. I don't feel affirmed. Something is wrong with me. Maybe I'm not, something I did is wrong. Something that I have done is incorrect, And I was talking to a young lady. She lives in Georgia, and she drives miles and miles away, and she's in a current relationship. And she's in a relationship with with a gentleman who has a 23-year-old son, and his son lives with him, and she drives all the way to the son's house, and she feels like she is not validated, like she feels like she is not validated in the relationship. And so as she drives all the way to Georgia in the same state, and when she gets there, the house is messy. They don't clean up after themselves. They don't do anything. They don't, they're not validating the relationship. There's no boundary levels. There's nothing that they do that validates her. And they treat her like she's not valid, like she's not there. There's dishes that are all over the sink. There's dirty, floor. There's nothing that's being picked up. And so her feelings are not validated. And sometimes we have to use feeling words. I feel like you're not treating me correct. I feel like you are not listening to me. I feel like we need to put our efforts into this. I feel like we all need to put 50-50, 100 into this. Everybody needs to pick up. So, your feelings are valid. Your feelings are, and sometimes, you need affirmation. You need words of affirmation, guys. You guys are valid. Yeah. So today I wanted you guys to understand what the simplicity of explaining yourself and how, you know, going into a room and just explaining your feelings to someone. And so I want you guys to communicate and just take one word, you know, a one word phrase, and, go into somebody's Facebook today and just say one word to someone that's kind, that's generous, and say, I feel like you're kind, or I feel like you're generous, or I feel like, just that one word of affirmation, or that one word of something that makes them who they are. Sometimes we just need to be validated. And sometimes I feel like I appreciate you, just that one validating word. And sometimes we just need to hear validation. Sometimes we just need to be validated as individuals. And that just makes the day. Sometimes we just need to hear how pretty we are, how wonderful we are. And it's not just about prettiness, guys, because it's not about pretty. Sometimes my hair ain't done. My face ain't. Listen, today I'm using a filter, guys. I am using a filter, okay? And it's not about pretty. It's about, you're kind. You're generous. And sometimes you just need to hear that. So today, take a moment of your time and validate somebody. Just take a validation and just validate someone. Take a small moment. I know. It's going to take a pull of your time to just validate someone. Because sometimes we don't do that. We don't do that enough to validate sometimes, someone. Because we live in such a negative world. And we live, good morning, Katrina. How are you today? Oh, I just love you so much. But sometimes we live in such a negative environment that all we want to do is sometimes we pull each other apart. We do so much intensity in each other that we don't validate each other. We don't overestimate one another. But how does it feel to validate others really makes you who you are, and how it feels to validate you really can increase your self-esteem too. And really those comments can come back to you and surprise you, because that surprises how you are. And oh, I'm so glad you're hanging in there. I'm praying for you. I am. And I'm praying for your family, as well. Know that I love you. So what are some other ways that you can show people that you appreciate them? It's not just by your validating words. It's also by your validating actions. Because sometimes words can take action too. We are doing, like right now, I got an awesome invitation by Yvonne Hernandez. She's doing like on around the Facebook invitation to encourage other women who've gone through domestic violence and are lonely this year, to give out like presents to everybody. And that was an encouraging action. And sometimes our validating words can turn into validating actions. And sometimes our words can take action. Oh, that's wonderful. That's so good. I'm so glad that you're feeling well, and that your heart is feeling better, and that you're feeling better. I'm so glad. So sometimes our actions can take flight by just the things that we do. Hi, Carlos. How are you doing? And so, yeah, that can take that can take flight by the things that we do. Hey, Carolyn, how you doing? So how can you validate your actions? Sometimes when you start off by just saying, hey, we're doing a Christmas around, Christmas, a secret sister Santa thing, and she started off by doing that. It was Jane, I think her name was Jane, that started off this secret Santa. I think they started it like 3 years ago, and now it's taken flight by generosity. The word generosity is started by doing that. Hey, Mandeep, how are you? And so now, hey, Teresa, how are you? So now this whole secret sister Santa, since 3 years ago, I think, is now started off this whole thing for domestic violence, and now they're all sending secret sister Santas all over Facebook. And now everybody's sending Christmas presents to each other, and it's taken flight. So that's all how you validate somebody for Christmas, especially somebody who's going through something when they don't have anybody. And so really it's validating someone, being there for somebody who you don't know who doesn't have somebody for Christmas. It's very hard when you lose that kind of someone during the year. But that's a validation, your words becoming action. Sometimes we just need that. We need validation. And I know that you guys can do it. Maybe card, maybe cookies. Go to your neighbors, knock on the door. Say, hey, do you need me to walk your dog? Christmas presents or cards or getting gloves and hats for kids who don't have it to the local shelter. That's something that you can do. How do you validate people in your neighborhood? That's something, right? Go volunteer. I know it's difficult because sometimes we live in a world that's so difficult to validate and so hard to do things for. But that's how we validate one another. So it's such a difficult world to live in, right? But I know we can do this. So find simplicity in an explanation. Find simplicity in words of action. All right, guys. So have a wonderful afternoon. Go get a sandwich. Find yourself in a restaurant. Find someone that you can say hello to. And say good action words. Definitely use feelings. And I know that when you go in there, you're going to say hello. Say nice, kind words. And I know that you can do this. I know you can. I'm so encouraging you today. I want to. Because I love that the sun is coming through my window today because it's vitamin D. It's good vitamin D. I'm so happy today. So, anyways, enjoy yourself. I'll see you guys later. Okay, and like I always say, you're beautiful. You are lovely. I love you. And God loves you too. Okay, bye guys.